Some Aurora residents are surprised how a 4-hour-long armed standoff ended in their neighborhood. It ended with dozens of Aurora police officers packing and walking away, leaving a wanted man in one home. CBS 4 investigator Brian Moss has been reporting on the increasing use of de-escalation tactics. It's leaving some residents uneasy and confused.
In Aurora's conservatory neighborhood, this was unusual.
Yes, they did have their guns pulled out. They had an armored truck that was pulled up onto the grass.
Aurora's SWAT team surrounded the home of Eric Burns for hours. According to internal police documents, Burns had a valid misdemeanor no-bond domestic violence warrant out of Denver.
They had the guy in the top with his gun pointing at the house, and there were police hiding behind the cars with their weapons pulled as well.
Sounds kind of scary to me.
It was very scary.
The standoff and negotiations dragged on through the afternoon until Burns released a 6-year-old girl. But when Burns, who police believed was armed, refused to come out, police wrote, "Decision made to vacate."
Pretty shocked. We thought for sure that they would have arrested someone.
And it turns out Burns was also wanted for suspected felony kidnapping in Black Hawk. But Aurora police say they didn't know about that warrant at the time.
Pretty surprising that after that kind of response and that kind of action that there wasn't an arrest made.
Craig Miller watched from across the street. He's surprised police just left, but understands.
Elijah McClain, you've got all these situations where force has ended deadly, and I don't want to see that.
And that's more or less how Aurora police explained their actions. The department said members of our community and across the nation have made it very clear that they want their police department to respond differently to some incidents, particularly when there is a possibility of using serious force. They went on to say they are placing the preservation of life and avoiding unnecessary confrontation at the top of its priority. Sometimes this means walking away and trying to apprehend persons at a later time. Aurora police say Eric Burns has not been located since this day, and they're still looking for him.
If someone got a warrant out for their arrest, why wouldn't they have arrested him in the first place?
Because part of me was expecting them to just knock down the door and go in, but who knows how that could have ended. It could have ended with him being hurt, the police officers being hurt, the little girl being hurt.
I'm Brian Moss, covering Colorado First.
Aurora police declined to be interviewed. They released a written statement, but this was the second time in the last month we saw them walk away from a wanted suspect who refused to surrender.